Today in this video we are going to discuss about the femoral vein and also the femoral nerve. So femoral vein is nothing but is starting from the popliteal vein. It begins as an upward continuation of the popliteal vein at the lower end of adductor canal. Actually somewhere over here will be the adductor canal. So lower end of adductor canal the popliteal vein begins, right? And ends by becoming continuous with external iliac vein, and it's ending as continuing as an external iliac vein as it moves above. Okay, so here it will end as an external iliac vein, okay, which is behind the inguinal ligament. So actually inguinal ligament will be here, which is starting from anterior superior iliac spine up to the our pubic tubercle. So here will be the inguinal ligament. Behind the inguinal ligament it is called as external iliac vein, and below the inguinal ligament it is called as femoral vein. So this femoral vein is just medial to the femoral artery. You can see here this is a femoral artery. So medial to the femoral artery you have the femoral vein. Okay, so it is marking is same as that of femoral artery, except that the upper point is taken 1 centimeter medial to mid-inguinal ligament, mid-inguinal point. So this is the inguinal ligament in the middle. This is the mid-inguinal point. So just if you take the upper point medial to mid-inguinal point, that will be your femoral vein, and lower point 1 centimeter lateral to the adductor tubercle. Adductor tubercle here will have, so just lateral to it you will have the lower point. So the vein is medial to the artery at the upper end. If you see the femoral artery, just medial to it you will have the femoral vein, right? Whereas coming posterior to it in the middle. In the middle if you see, the femoral vein is posterior to the femoral artery. Exactly over this position, if you see, this is the femoral artery, it's anterior, but the femoral vein is posterior in the middle, right? Coming to the lower end, if you see, the femoral vein is lateral to the femoral artery. So this is the thing you need to remember about the femoral vein. At the starting, at the upper end, the femoral vein is medial to the femoral artery. In the middle, the femoral vein is posterior to the femoral artery. And in the lower end, the femoral vein is lateral to the femoral artery. This is very important point regarding the femoral vein. So let us see the tributaries which it receives. So actually the veins always drain the blood, right? So this our great saphenous vein, right? These are all different tributaries which will go and finally drain into the femoral vein. So you can see here the first tributary is the great saphenous vein. You can see it is coming from the dorsal venous arch. This is the dorsum of foot. So from the dorsal venous arch it travels on the medial side of your leg. Next it comes above to the medial side of your thigh, and finally it comes and joins the femoral vein. Okay. So one of the tributary of femoral vein is great saphenous vein. Next comes the veins which are accompanying the 3 deep branches of femoral artery in femoral triangle. In the femoral triangle you have mainly the veins which are accompanying 3 deep branches of femoral artery. What are the deep branches of femoral artery? If you can revise them, that is profunda artery and profunda femoris artery, and you have the deep external pudendal artery, and you have the muscular artery, right? So those 3 arteries also bear the 3 branches of veins along with them. All those 3 veins also come and drain here, okay? And next you also have the lateral and medial circumflex femoral veins. So lateral means it will be on this side, of course, the lateral circumflex femoral vein, and this side will be the medial circumflex femoral vein. Those both also will come and drain into the femoral vein, okay? And next you have the descending genicular and muscular veins in the adductor canals. So actually in the adductor canal you will have the descending genicular and muscular veins. So these will also come and drain into the femoral vein. So these are the different tributaries. So by this we completed femoral vein. It is very short topic. So what is the clinical anatomy related to it? You have a femoral vein which is commonly used for intravenous infusions. So whenever you listen the intravenous infusion, either in your upper limb or lower limb, always we prefer the vein. So in the case of your upper limb, in the case of upper limb, you will prefer the median cubital vein, if you remember, right? There only most of the intravenous infusions or blood testing, all those you do always in the veins. In the case of upper limb, it is medial cubital vein. In the case of lower limb, you prefer this femoral veins. Okay. and also its branches. So mainly femoral veins are used for intravenous infusions in infants and also in patients with the peripheral circulatory failure, right? So this is about femoral vein. Next we'll start with the femoral nerve. Let's switch on to another diagram. So this is a proper diagram for the femoral nerve. So femoral nerve is actually a chief nerve of anterior or extensor compartment of thigh. So to see that, you can see here, this is the anterior compartment of the thigh, also called as extensor compartment of thigh. So this whole part is supplied by our femoral nerve, right? So you can see here, so it's a chief nerve of anterior compartment of thigh. So it is the largest branch of lumbar plexus and it is formed by the dorsal divisions of anterior primary rami of spinal nerves L2, L3 and L4. So mainly L2, L3 and L4, 3 together, they form the our femoral nerve. Okay. So mainly their anterior primary rami. Okay. So it corsets, it mainly enters the femoral triangle. So first the femoral nerve enters the femoral triangle, just passing behind inguinal ligament. Remember one thing, that the femoral nerve passes behind the inguinal ligament. So for example, this is inguinal ligament, it will pass behind, means back of the inguinal ligament, and enters the femoral triangle. Okay. So femoral nerve actually it enters the femoral triangle just lateral to the femoral artery. So for example, here lies the femoral artery, then just lateral to it the femoral nerve enters. Okay. And in the thigh, this lies in the groove between the iliacus muscle on this side, and this side you will have the psoas major muscle. So in between the iliacus and psoas major muscle, it forms a groove, and the iliacus nerve pass. So the femoral nerve actually is outside the femoral sheath. If you remember, in femoral sheath there is only femoral artery, femoral vein, and also lymph nodes, deep lymph nodes. But the femoral vein, all these are there, but the femoral nerve is outside the femoral sheath, and lateral to the femoral artery, you have this femoral nerve. Okay, and after a short course of about 2 centimeters below the inguinal ligament, the nerve divides in turn into the anterior division. You can see this is the anterior division and this is the posterior division, and which are separated mainly by a lateral circumflex femoral artery. Here comes the lateral circumflex femoral artery, you can see here. So mainly because of this lateral circumflex femoral artery only, our femoral nerve is divided into the anterior division and the posterior division. Okay. So now let us see different branches and distribution. So first you have the muscular branches. So what are the muscular branches? Let us see, especially in the anterior division, if you see, it mainly supplies the sartorius. The anterior division supplies the sartorius muscle, okay, and the posterior division supplies the rectus femoris muscle. So in the posterior division you can see this is the rectus femoris. So these are the muscular branches, okay, and not only in the posterior division you have rectus femoris, there are also 3 vasti muscles, that is vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius and vastus medialis. These 3 muscles are also supplied, and also you have the articularis genu, that is also a muscular branch. And the articularis genu is mainly supplied by a branch from the nerve to vastus intermedius only. The vastus intermedius only supplies even the articularis genu muscle. So these are all the muscular branches of anterior and posterior division. So in anterior division only one muscular branch, that is sartorius. In the posterior division you have the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedialis, vastus medialis. Vastus intermedialis in turn also supplies the articularis genu. Now coming to the cutaneous branches. In the cutaneous branches, in turn you have anterior division, which gives the cutaneous branches, that is the intermediate and the medial cutaneous nerves. So if you see the intermediate cutaneous nerve of thigh and the medial cutaneous nerve of thigh, these are the cutaneous branches. Okay. And coming to the posterior division, here you also have the cutaneous branches, that is the saphenous nerve. So if you see the saphenous nerve, that is a cutaneous branch of posterior division. Okay, and these nerves have been described here. So this is about our, you can see this saphenous nerve, this is a cutaneous branch. So what is the difference between cutaneous and muscular branch? Mainly cutaneous branches are sensory, whereas muscular branches are motor supply. Okay, so you can see the sartorius on the anterior division. It's very simple to remember, because sartorius is anterior compartment muscle, so hence it is supplied by femoral nerve. All the anterior compartment muscles of the thigh are supplied by the femoral nerve, right? So sartorius on the anterior division, and on the posterior division you have all these muscles like rectus femoris, vastus lateralis. These are all called as quadriceps femoris, right? rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, intermedialis, medialis, all are part of quadriceps femoris muscle, right? So these are all having the muscular supply. Whereas the cutaneous supply is by intermediate cutaneous nerve of thigh, medial cutaneous nerve of thigh, and also you have the saphenous nerve. So these are all cutaneous supply, means they are sensory supply. So saphenous nerve by posterior division is cutaneous, and in anterior division you have intermediate cutaneous nerve and median cutaneous nerve. So these are the cutaneous nerves. Okay. So now we will move on to the articular branches. There are also articular branches, that is the hip joint. Mainly the hip joint is supplied by nerve to rectus femoris. So nerve to rectus femoris also supplies the hip joint. This is articular branch. And the knee joint is supplied by nerve to 3 vasti. This 3 also supply the knee joint. Okay. And the nerve to vastus medialis contain numerous proprioceptive fibers from knee joint, accounting for the thickness of nerve, and this is according with Hilton's law. Actually, this vastus medialis also supply the knee joint, and it is according to the Hilton's law that the nerve supplied to a muscle which lies across a joint not only supplies muscle but also supplies a joint beneath the skin overlying muscle. Of course, it's very simple. The Hilton law is common sense law, I can say, because if of course the nerve which is near to that muscle, it supplies it, and also it supplies a joint near it, because there's a joint and of course it will supply it. That's it. So it's a Hilton law. Now coming to the vascular branches, mainly to the femoral artery and its branches. Note that the nerve to pectineus, you can see the nerve to pectineus, it arises from the medial side of the femoral nerve just above the inguinal ligament, and it passes obliquely downwards and medially behind the femoral sheath to reach the anterior surface of the muscle, because this side only you have the pectineus muscle, right? So this is nerve to pectineus. Remember, it is above the inguinal ligament. Even the nerve to iliacus is above the inguinal ligament. You can see this dotted line. This dotted line represents the inguinal ligament. So above that you have the nerve to pectineus and iliacus. Below that you have all this anterior division, posterior division, right? So in anterior division only it have one muscle, that is sartorius, and all are other, that is intermediate, medial, cutaneous nerves, right? Whereas on posterior division you have most of them are muscles like quadriceps muscles, and you have only femoral artery which is a vascular branch, and you have the hip joint branch, knee joint branch. That's it. So this is about thigh, how the femoral nerve is divided. Now what is the clinical anatomy? Let us find out that. The femoral and obturator nerves which supply the hip joint also supply the knee joint, right? So therefore diseases of hip also produce referred pain in knee and also in cutaneous area innervated by these nerves. So whenever if you get any pain in knee, then of course it will also why you are getting pain in knee, because already there is problem in hip joint. Okay, so because of hip joint pain, it will also transmit to the knee. So injury to the femoral nerve by wounds in the groin area, though rare, cause paralysis of quadriceps femoris, because you see its posterior division is supplying most of the quadriceps femoris muscular branches, and also there will be sensory deficit on the anterior and medial side of thigh and on the medial side of leg. Why? Because the anterior side of the thigh and also the medial side of the thigh is supplied by the cutaneous branches which are sensory, so there will be sensory loss, and also the medial side of leg also. If you see in the leg, the medial side, it is also supplied by the, you can see here the infrapatellar branch, skin on medial side of leg, so saphenous nerve. So these are also supplying the sensory branches, so there will also be loss of sense on medial side of leg. So this is all about the femoral vein and femoral nerve. Next we will discuss about the muscles of front of thigh. What are the main muscles, what is its origin, insertion, everything, nerve supply, everything.